This happened my junior year of high school, which already feels like a different lifetime. I had just turned 17, could finally drive alone, and had exactly one marketable skill: not being a disaster around other people's pets. That's how I ended up house-sitting for our across-the-street neighbor, Mrs. Dalrymple, while she took a last-minute trip to help her daughter with a new baby. If you grew up on my block, you know the house. Blue shutters, black iron railing with those little spear points, and a porch swing that looked romantic if you didn't know how much it shrieked when it moved. My parents called it the old McKinley place, like every suburban family does with any house older than their own. The floor plan was a maze. Rooms within rooms, hallways that went nowhere, doors that wouldn't open unless you jiggled and lifted at the same time. Before she left, Mrs. Dalrymple gave me a printed checklist on thick ivory paper. I remember the smell of her lemon cleaner and the way her bracelets clinked while she pointed around the kitchen. She read a few off the checklist: feed Petunia at 5, scoop at 7, please keep the dumbwaiter shut, lock the side door by 9, lights off by 11. Don't use the basement laundry at night. The timer makes a racket. I didn't say anything when she mentioned the dumbwaiter, because I didn't think people still had those. It was a cabinet next to the pantry, with a slatted wooden door and a frayed rope. She had tied 2 jingle bells to the handle. She said it deterred the cat. House gets drafty, she added, tapping the thermostat. Just leave it at 68. Oh, and the intercom is finicky, so don't be startled if it buzzes. Sometimes it picks up garage door openers. That stuck with me. The house had an old beige intercom system in the walls, the kind with little brass buttons labeled kitchen, den, master, basement. It felt like the kind of feature people bragged about in the 1950s. And also the kind of feature that would absolutely betray me in a horror movie. I moved my backpack and a hoodie into the den around 4. The storm they'd been warning about all week had finally arrived. Not snow, but a heavy, weirdly warm rain that slapped the windows in diagonal lines. Petunia, who was not a flower, but a very fat grey cat with a snaggletooth, followed me around complaining like I'd personally altered the weather. I did the checklist, fed the cat, locked the side door, made sure the porch light was on. I even tugged the dumbwaiter rope to see if it would slide on its own. It didn't. Whatever was on the other end was heavy. The house was clean in that museum way, like no one actually used the kitchen knives or sat on the tufted chairs. I only exhaled when I found something normal: an open bag of pretzels in the pantry and a sticky bottle of store-brand honey. By 10, I was in the den, under a blanket, watching reruns on low volume. The rain had picked up, really picked up. It sounded like the entire roof was under a waterfall. I cracked the den window an inch, because the house was hot, and instantly got that wet earth smell. Petunia jumped onto my lap, a cement block with whiskers, and I must have dozed off. The next thing I remember was the TV blue screen, that soft hum you only notice when everything else is quiet. And then the cold. It was the kind of cold that makes your teeth touch, a sudden, unreasonable plunge. I reached for the blanket and felt damp air on my face, like someone had opened a door. I sat up too fast, and Petunia bolted off me, screaming on principle. The window was still only an inch open. The thermostat still glowed 68. I rubbed my arms and almost went back to sleep, but the checklist nagged at me. Lock the side door. Keep the dumbwaiter shut, the bells. So I got up, front door deadbolt engaged, kitchen window latched, side door locked. I stepped into the pantry to peek at the dumbwaiter, and that's when I noticed the bells weren't tied the way I'd left them. I had done my usual sloppy double knot earlier, but now the knot was neat, clean, and tight. Someone had untied mine and retied theirs. I stared at the two little bells like they were a crime scene. I leaned my ear to the slats. Nothing. Just house sounds, the fridge motor, the rain, a faint pipe whine, and then the intercom clicked on. "Kitchen," a voice said. Not through the air, through the wall box, tinny and flat, but behind it was breath, like someone trying to whisper through dust. "Stay in the den." I froze. My chest felt too small for air, my heart and fear all at once. The little brass button labeled den glowed red, like someone had pressed it from somewhere else. I slammed every button, kitchen, master, basement, until the red light went dark. For a second, I told myself it was just static, shaped like words, the worst lie I've ever told myself. I went back to the den, locked the door, turned the TV on for noise. Then came another sound. From above me, a roll, then a thud, then a soft wood on wood scrape, like a pulley turning. I didn't investigate. Not then, but at midnight. The intercom came alive again. This time, no words. Just a click, pause. Click, click, pause, click. "Stop," I said, before I even realized the word was out of my mouth. "Please stop." The clicking stopped. Then, the dumbwaiter bell jingled. My hands moved before my brain did. I slid the heavy wooden door open. Inside sat a white plate with a green band around the edge. On it were 3 pretzels and a cloudy glass marble. The plate edges were damp. That's when I heard it. Not from the intercom, but from the other side of the dumbwaiter wood. "I'm not supposed to," the voice whispered. Soft, breathy, too close. "Not supposed to come up when she's gone." I slammed the door shut, tied my sloppy knot, grabbed my keys and bag, and ran.